I gotta go for another bite. Stand by. Hold on, guys. I'm having a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm sorry. Oh man. This is a pork butt. This is arguably one of the most forgiving cuts of meat in all of barbecue. And before I kick off a really big barbecue season like I do every year, this is the first thing that goes on my smokers. Why? Because it's fail-proof, it's really hard to get wrong, and it allows me to knock those cobwebs off after a little bit of a dormant fall barbecue season. So I'm throwing down a pork butt today. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and I'm about to kick the barbecue season off with some pulled pork. So let me show you guys how I knock this thing out, and I hope you enjoy. As always, welcome back to Meet and Greet. Now this is just a standard bone-in. How many pounds is this? This is a 8.10 pound bone-in pork butt, otherwise known as a Boston butt, otherwise known as a pork shoulder. There's all kinds of specifications when it comes down to what a pork butt actually is and what it really is not. We don't have to get into all that, guys. We know this to be a pork butt. So I'm gonna just pop this thing open, and here's what I love about cooking a good pork butt. The work that you have to do to get a pork butt ready to go on your smoker is it's close to nothing. It's almost nothing. So here, obviously, this is the fat cap side, and then on the other side is the non-fat cap side, and my bone's just gonna run through here. And so what I like to do is take the weight of my knife. Again, I talk about this knife often when it comes to pork. This is my preferred knife, and it's such overkill, but it holds such a great blade, and it's big and maneuverable, and that's why I like it. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you want it, but what I like to do is just lightly score. And again, I'm just letting the weight of the knife go across this thing, and when I score the top of a pork butt, I like to keep them thinner. So I'm going about a 1/2 inch difference, and then I'm gonna just checkerboard this thing and come across the same way over the top. Now let's season this bad boy. Gotta open a fresh bottle of Booster. Guys, if you're curious, I sell a barbecue rub. If you're not new here, then you guys already know, but I don't do any hardcore sales or anything like that. I'm not here to sell you. I make a barbecue rub. It's called Brisket Booster, and I love it. It's good stuff. You can find links in the description, website, all that stuff. But I say that because for this seasoning, I'm going really simple. So here's what I got. I got Fiesta 16 mesh ground black pepper. Fiesta's my fave. I love Fiesta. And then I just got some basic kosher salt. This is Morton's kosher salt. And then we're gonna finish it with the Brisket Booster. Now, I go pepper first, I go kosher salt first, and then I do Booster for mostly extra salt for pork butt. Now, you might be wondering, Marcus, where's the binder? And no binder on this, guys. I pulled it right out of the pack. You saw it. It was very, very tacky. And I just want to make sure I hit all 4 sides. And today, fam, I'm cooking this on a Traeger. We're going on the Traeger. And when I'm cooking pork butt on a Traeger, I go a little bit lighter on the pepper. On Traegers, I don't get quite the bark that I normally get. I don't get quite the type of convection that I'm used to on an offset. And all that feeds in when I'm cooking barbecue. So for this application, I'm going a little bit lighter on the pepper. That way we can get good color, get good bark without having it overly peppery. And then I'm going with the salt. Now, as you guys can see, get a shaker. Do yourself a favor and get a shaker, but I typically just run it right out of this box here, just like this. Okay. Don't want to overdo that salt, again, the Morton's, because we're going right over the top of this thing with some Booster here in a little bit. So that's good there. Okay. Booster. Now, if you're going to buy Brisket Booster, guys, this is what I tell everyone. This is a unique seasoning. It takes some trial and error. It is possible to oversalt your food with Brisket Booster. So just keep that in mind if you buy this and you use it. If you use it for the first time, go a little bit less and then dial it up from there. But the reason I'm using Brisket Booster on the pork butt is because I don't like a super sweet pork butt. Those days for me are over. When I first started barbecue, I would like parquet and the butter and the, well, I guess parquet is butter, but you know what I'm saying. Butter, honey, brown sugar, barbecue sauce, seasoning, all that. I'm good on that these days. I don't need an extra cavity. So what I do is I go more for a savory profile, and that's why I'm using just some brisket booster, because it's got all the good stuff, savory. That's what we want. All right, over top. This is where it matters most, guys. This is where you make your barbecue art. I'm going right over the top of our fat cap. The wind is doing me no favors. Pepper in the eye. All right, pepper is on. And now all I'm gonna do, no kosher salt on the fat cap side. I'm just going brisket booster, and I'm just gonna give it a heavy dose of booster right over the top, just like this. Hit the sides a little bit, get that on there, perfect. That's all we need. I'm gonna let this pork butt tack up just a little bit, 5-10 minutes, no more than that. Let those sugars, let that salt activate, and then we're going on the Traeger. 250 degrees to start on our Traeger, and then I'll see you guys back here in about the 3 to 4 hour mark to show you what I like to do to just add a little extra love and character onto our pork butt. So let's get this on. All right, she's looking pretty, looking pretty. I'm going right in the middle, right on this top rack. All right, Junior, let's do it. 250 to start. Nice. All right, y'all, so we're about 6 hours into the cook, and I just wanted to bring you guys back because I'm doing a couple things here. So I got some Coke, just some straight grade A Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. And what I did was I melted down a stick of butter and 1 can of Coca-Cola, and all I've been doing is just mopping this pork butt like so. Now, nothing too crazy. I haven't been going overboard, because what you don't want to do is wash your bark out. But this is just kind of an old school thing I used to do way back in the day, just because I probably saw it on some Food Network TV channel at one point. And I don't know, it just feels very barbecue-esque. So when it comes to pork, if I'm keeping it moist, you know, you could spritz with apple cider vinegar, but you know, throw it back old school, get you a little Coca-Cola mop, and keep rolling. Now, this butt is temping at about 159 on the dot, so we got a little ways to go. Now, I want to note one thing. At about the 4 hour mark, I up my temperatures, and I'm running 270 inside of the Traeger. So like I said, I like to cook my pork butts at the higher end. And so right now, at this point in time, when I bump my temperatures to 275, that's when I started mopping this thing. Now, cook's discretion. You don't want to mop it too soon. If it doesn't look like your bark is set, if it doesn't look like your pepper is sticking to the surface of that pork butt, don't start mopping. You just got to give it some more time. Once the bark is set, you're cleared hot to start your mop, and then just mop as needed. Mop based on the color, the texture, the exterior surface. If it looks like it needs some hydration, give it the hydration with the mop. At this point in time, what I like to do with my pork butts is get it into some foil. Let me close this down while I'm yapping. I like to get my pork butts into some foil right before it hits what would be a stall. Pork butts don't have the same kind of stall that a brisket does, but it's there. It is a thing you need to account for. And so right about the 160 degree internal mark for pork butts, I'll get it into some foil. So I'm gonna give this maybe, I don't know, another 10, 15, 20 minutes max, just so I see that 160, 165 mark. And then I'll bring you guys back and show you how we foil this and finish it off at about 300 degrees to push it all the way through. I'll see you guys back when I drop it into my foil. All right, y'all, so our pork butt is ready to go inside of some foil. And you can do this a couple different ways, but these days, my favorite way to finish off a pork butt is just in a foil pan, and then I'll cover it with some foil. So the pork butt right now at about 160 degrees, it's gonna start dumping out a lot of intermuscular moisture. And so I like to catch that in the pan. So that's what we're gonna do. This sucker is, yeah, this sucker's hot, but check that out. I mean, that nice, rich red mahogany, just the color that we're looking for. And it is nice and taut. It is ready to just start pumping out moisture. as it begins to really break down. All right, y'all. So in this part of the process, we've all seen it. The butter, the brown sugar, the honey, all the good stuff. You could very well do that. If you want to doll this up, do that. Be my guest for this. I'm going low profile. I'm going savory. I'm going pork flavor forward, smoke flavor forward, and I don't want to mask any of that with a bunch of additives. However, what I am going to do is take a little bit of my mop. So this is butter and some Coca-Cola, and I'm just going to pour this off into the bottom. I didn't do too much, guys. That's probably a cup of that elixir. Probably about a cup and a half max. I don't want my pork butt to taste like, I don't want it to taste like Coca-Cola. However, there's clearly some sugar inside of Coca-Cola. So we'll get a little bit of that sugar, and then we'll get that butter for texture. And then the rest of the, what I'm going to call a jus, the rest of the kind of the jus, jus, you know what I mean? The rest of the liquid is just going to be pure pork butt goodness. All right, that is wrapped. Now, from here, the last thing I'll tell you guys is you could, of course, finish this on whatever smoking apparatus you're using. Offset smoker, Traeger, Komodo, whatever you got. I cheat a little bit. If I'm making just a down home pork butt for the family, this thing's just going in the oven. I'm going in the oven at about 300, no higher than 325. The more sugar you put in this, the less heat you want to use. So I'm going 300. It's a good number for me, going right in the oven. And I'm not going for time. I will say at about the hour mark, which will be 7 hours in total. Remember, this is cooked for 6 hours up to current. It's going to go in the oven at 300 for another hour. And at that point, I'll just probe right in there. Again, we'll talk about that towards the end. Into the oven we go. I'll see you guys back when it's time to pull this bad boy. I just love barbecue. I love barbecue too much. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, forgot my pork butt. Well, barbecue freaks and geeks and nerds alike, a little change of scenery. Mother Nature decided to call a little audible. She threw a Hail Mary and I just wasn't prepared for it. We got a lot of rain last night, so we had a rainstorm roll in, and I had two options last night. I was like, okay, the pork butt's done. It took about 9.5 hours, and I knew I could either put it in the refrigerator, let the rainstorm finish out, come back in the morning, get the pork butt in the oven, leave it in there for a few hours, bring it up to temp, and then come back on the video. But I was like, or I could use my warmer. If you guys are not new to the channel, then you know I always preach the use of warmers. And personally, I've never held a pork butt for 12 hours. So I figured, let me kill two birds with one stone and not have to add more production time today. And also, let's see what happens if we hold a pork butt for 12 hours. So I'm going to go get that pork butt, and then I'll show you guys. Well, we'll just dig into it, and we'll eat it. I mean, that's it. This is the video. And I got a little special something for you guys. I'm a weird one when it comes to eating pork on sandwiches. So I'll show you my preferred way to eat a pork butt, but let me go get it. Oh, that smells good. Check out this pork butt. I mean, it's so tender, it's so pliable, and you can see all that juice that we built. That's that butter, that's a little bit of Coca-Cola, This pork butter has been holding at 140 degrees, and about an hour before, it's ideal to bump that temperature up to about 160 degrees. I think it's a good eating temperature, good serving temperature. In this case, I did not do that because of the art of production, but on service day, I always advise bump your warmer temps up just a little bit. But check out this pork butt, guys. I'm just going to take this thing apart. And as you can see, bone drops right out. That is just unbelievable. No injections on this one, no crazy rubs on this one, nothing. Just run it 4 hours. Once that bark starts to tack up, mop it with whatever you want to mop it with just to give it a little bit of hydration. And then at about the 160 degree internal mark, wrap it in some foil, finish it out at a little bit of a higher temperature until it's probe tender. You're looking for about 205, but I've cooked pork butts out to 210 and I've been perfectly. Okay, but enough talking and holding this pork butt. I got my little chopper. You could, of course, pull it. I'm gonna chop it. Okay, so we got that. Now, I'm going with a little bit, and don't mind my gloves, guys. This little bottle, it's going in the trash after this, but a little bit of Blues Hog. This is just their competition. It's a little sweeter, a little runnier, but I'm gonna doll that up like that, and then I'm going back in. Now, at this point in time, if you wanted to add a little bit of extra seasoning, this is how I like to do it. Put your fancy rub on there. Put a little bit of extra pepper, a little bit of extra salt, whatever it might need. Maybe some brisket booster. But doing it this way, chopping it like this, it gets that exterior, that fat cap with the beautiful rendered fat, all that salt, all that pepper, all that brisket booster, gets all that chopped up in there. And then I like to get me a nice potato roll, like so. And this is where it gets weird, guys. This is potato salad. I got potato salad, okay? Don't judge me. It could be coleslaw. It could be pork rinds. It could be whatever you want it to be. And if I'm not the only potato salad on a pulled pork sandwich guy, please let me know in the comments that I'm not alone. So I'm going right on top. I'm just gonna build a meat mountain. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't need to overdo it. Oh my goodness gracious. Check that out, family. Meat mountain on a bun, and I'm going big back style right over the top with some potato salad. And then I'm going right over with my bun. This is sinful, guys, but the net result is the most delicious sandwich you've ever seen. Guys, this is it for you, boy. Let's do it. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm a mess. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. I gotta go for another bite. Stand by. Hold on, guys. I'm having a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm sorry. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, that's fire. That is fire. Okay. Okay. Do all this. I don't even remember what I've said this entire video. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I made my first pork butt of the year last week for my family, and I was gonna do another one. And I was like, you know what, I'll film this and I'll let people know that this is how I kick the summer off. Easy pork butt, nothing crazy, super low pressure. Knock the cobwebs off. And this is how I like to do it, guys. On a sandwich with some potato salad or some coleslaw. I'll leave you with three things. One, if you want my potato salad or coleslaw recipe, drop in the comments, let me know. I might do a dedicated video for the summer. It's probably not gonna do well, which is fine, because everything I do for the people, not for the views and all that stuff. So if you want it, your boy Frisbee's got your back. Second, this hat, Bad Day to Be a Brisket, #1 seller next to the hat I was wearing earlier in the video, which is red, white, and barbecue. These hats always pop off in the summer, so if you want to support your boy, guys, I don't really do any sponsorships. And if I do a sponsorship, it's a brand that I believe in, that I've used, that I put on the channel, and I've done that like once or twice. The way that I can keep the sponsors and stuff at bay is by your support. So all the money that I make, it just goes back into making more videos and better content for you guys. So if you're into that kind of thing, you know what to do. But if it's your first time here, don't do anything. Just enjoy the content. Let me earn your subscription. Let me earn your support. And I'll leave that up to you. As always, guys, Big Frizz, meet and greet. Over and out.